Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Stop crying. Do not forget that Queen Naomi has finished her cleansing. She is now free to spend night with me in the palace. Oloris will continue to stay out whether they like it or not. No matter what they do, they will continue to stay out. Not as strangers, but also as my wives. They will continue to stay out. Queen Naomi will come as place with Tadenika where we can spend time together. Do not cry. I am happy. I am a happy man now. Do not worry yourself anymore. Ooni of Ife, comforted Dr. Elizabeth as they said she cried so much. Like she was so devastated over the fact that, the plan did not go through to the end. That Ooni of Ife, has shown a lot of love and respect for Dr. Elizabeth because Dr. Elizabeth has shown so much empathy towards Tadenikawo and Queen Naomi's plight, even as the wife to the Ooni of Ife. The entire Ife people, the royal palace, Naomi's family, other people, outsiders are saying that they have never ever come across any woman with a kind heart like Dr. Elizabeth. Dr. Elizabeth happens to be the second wife to the Ooni of Ife, and she spent most of her life in Switzerland. She is an IT guru. She is a doctor. She has two doctorate degrees. No, she has one doctorate degree, and she is a medical doctor. A doctorate degree in IT. She specializes in IT, some kind of IT as a specialization. This woman is intelligent and she is pretty and she is very, very wealthy. She's this kind that is so, quiet and humble. You may never ever be able to tell what she is worth, but she is worth a lot. They say she has been there through thick and thin to support so, contrary to what Auntie Ikpi had thought, when Auntie Ikpi, brought Dr. Elizabeth back into the palace, Auntie Ikpi had actually brought Dr. Elizabeth back into the palace to spite Olori Naomi. Now, they said when Ooni of Ife married Ikpi, allegedly as it is rumored, Ooni of Ife married Dr. Elizabeth as his second wife. But along the line, when Dr. Elizabeth found out that there were going to be six of them, she started developing cold feet and she didn't want to go through with it again. And she made it very clear to the Ooni of Ife that she wasn't going through with it again. But of course, Ooni of Ife went ahead and married others. They brought them to the palace, celebrated everything. And Ooni of Ife did not mind Dr. Elizabeth. Let her, she was where she was. And that was why Dr. Elizabeth did not come to the palace for a very long time. But when, at that point, Nami had gotten so upset, and it was during that time that Nami granted that interview that she can never be a square peg trying to fit into a round hole. And, she said she was never returning back to the palace, not with those women there. And so, and then now, at that point, they now found out that Ooni had started indicating interest in Queen Naomi again. And so Ikpi wanted to remove Queen Naomi out of the equation completely and piece the living daylight out of Queen Naomi's out of Queen Naomi. Ikpi decided to go and begin to renegotiate with Dr. Elizabeth. She was talking and talking and giving Ooni of Ife 1 million reasons why Ooni should go back and bring the other woman back. Knowing that at that time Ooni was still under their grip, they were able to do a whole lot. As it is alleged and rumored and reported, I do not live in the palace of the Ooni of Ife, neither am I related to anyone in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. These are all reported as in rumored information, and that is why I keep saying to people that whatever you see on social media, you have to take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, now as we have now, they said that because of all of these things that happen, Ikpi now started talking to Ooni of Ife to go and bring Dr. Elizabeth, talking to Dr. Elizabeth to return back. She's been married. She's a Yoruba girl. No matter what happened, Dr. Elizabeth should know that she got married to a king. No man will go and begin to ask her hand in marriage and all of that. They did all of this back and forth until Dr. Elizabeth, placed her demands that she will go through the normal process of a woman getting married, like everything from marriage photo shoot, wedding photo shoot, and all of that. Oni agreed. Ikpi, they were running around. They finally did everything and brought Dr. Elizabeth back. When Dr. Elizabeth came in, Naomi now said, never, ever. That was when she said, never, it will never happen. And Ikpi was very happy. But when Dr. Elizabeth came in and, looked at the situation and saw that everything that she was hearing, because before that time, they said she kept hearing things on social media and all of that. When Dr. Elizabeth came back and found out that, look, this happens to be what has happened, like the things that has happened to this young woman, Dr. Elizabeth was so empathetic towards the plight of Olori Naomi and Tadenikawo and decided that she was going to support Naomi. From that time, Dr. Elizabeth started supporting Naomi. Now, because Dr. Elizabeth was supporting Naomi, she won the love, affection, attention, and everything of the Ooni of Ife. And she saw that it was working for her and she continued. And now, from that time, Dr. Elizabeth started supporting Naomi. Supporting Naomi. They tried to put them together, hit their heads together, tried to, until this whole thing got to where it got to. That Dr. Elizabeth is the one that even, fueled this thing to this point where it got to. But to the glory of God, they tried to wreck everything, but they didn't wreck it. The only thing that happened is that Queen Naomi has not moved all her things back into the palace, but Queen Naomi right now can come and go, see Ooni of Ife, spend nights with Ooni of Ife and all of that, and still without the Oloris in the palace. That is the most beautiful thing. So Ooni of Ife basically was talking to Dr. Elizabeth, who was crying so much, as we are hearing, that Dr. Elizabeth needs not to worry, that doctor should know that Naomi can now, things have changed. Naomi can come to the palace, spend night, do whatever she wants to do in the palace of the Ooni of Ife without fear of favor of anything. She has the support of everybody in the palace. That doctor needs to know that they are not far from each other again. Tadenikawo will always be with him. That Naomi will return back to the palace as soon as her place is fixed. Because right now, even if Naomi returns back to the palace, Naomi does not have a suitable place to stay in the palace. The Yeye Oluwa's palace, place where that belonged to her, has already been, I don't know, destroyed. Nami cannot stay there. They need to fix a new place for her to stay. And that happens to be the major reason why Nami did not come back to the palace. They said Oni was telling Dr. Elizabeth that this time is not a matter of defeat, that they won, regardless they won. I'm going to bring you more update. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.